Oh, hello everybody.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so just hit continue, and then we'll be ready to go. And then next up is Matthew from Health Place. Matthew, your 5 minutes starts now.
So I'm Matthew Pike, and today I'm seeking investment in Health Place, a revolutionary new digital health assistant. We're focused on the more than 20 million UK adults who have at least one long-term health condition, for example, depression or anxiety or type 2 diabetes, all of them conditions which have got even worse as a result of the pandemic. Now, these conditions generate massive costs on the NHS, but they also generate massive impact on millions of people's quality of life. And the simple truth is that the NHS isn't designed to give the support required, which needs to be long-term, personalised, and truly joined up. Now, as we come out of the pandemic, of course, we face a moment of crisis, but also a historic opportunity to do things differently. And that's why we've built Health Place. So to make it a bit more concrete, imagine you've got chronic back pain. And there are, by the way, more than 4 million people in England with back pain, and they use up more than 12% of GP time. Health Place can give you access to more than 50,000 quality assured support opportunities and to find the tailored support that's right for you. You know, maybe it's a mental health app, some targeted physiotherapy, or a specialist yoga class. And it uses smart conversational AI to track your progress and help you, in essence, take back control of your life. Now, we've got a really strong team in place, taking Health Place forward. I myself am a battle-hardened entrepreneur, and I come with deep knowledge and connections with the NHS. My colleague, Dr. Simon Gordon, has long track record as a digital health entrepreneur. For example, K Health is now valued at more than $1 billion. And we have a very strong young technical lead and a wider team. And we believe that collectively, we've already taken much, if not all, the technical risk out of this project. So how do we make money? Well, short term, it's about selling our services into the NHS on a SaaS basis. We already have the first customer in the form of North West London, and we've just won a highly prestigious and highly competitive award from the National Institute of Health Research to further expand our work on mental health in London. Soon we want to start selling an occupational health service into larger employers, and then longer term begin to monetize the referrals that we send in the direction of providers, for example, physiotherapists or psychotherapists. So these are our 5-year projections. And in that first column, you can see organic growth of those sales into the NHS and to employers. But it's really that second column, that income from providers, which we see as being the key opportunity to maximize profitability and create the platform for further expansion overseas in the years ahead. Look, we valued the company at 1.45 million, which is a simple multiple of our earnings to date. But really today, my message is that we're after smart money that can bring something additional to the table. Capital from yourselves will give us 15 months of road with the ideal team. And look at
Oh, Matthew, you're frozen. Come back to us, Matthew. I know you said you had 1/4 was the timeline.
I know.
It's always great. This is why we do this.
Oh.
Matthew! Now he's died.
No way. Okay.
Well, if he just give it 2 seconds when he comes back, or if he comes back, he's actually got to go to his new thing.
Yeah.
So so you can take the spotlight off and stop sharing screen if you would, Lauren,
Yeah.
because he had to go anyway. So He's gone.
Oh,
But we're still recording. So
yeah.
so I'll go over to John first. John,
we're presuming that was pretty much coming up to the end.
It
Yeah.
was.
It was 4 minutes. Yeah,
5 seconds left.
Yes. So yeah, I had 4:15 when he kicked out. I stopped it. So he was at 4:15. So just because we'll send this recording to Matthew afterwards, John, you go first. Give a little bit of feedback on what you saw, presentation, slides, feeling, that type of stuff.
Yeah. So first up, I thought delivered really well, really smooth, professional, and yeah, it's very confidently presented. I thought. I felt like it could have a bit sooner gone with a bit of what's different, because I mean, my feeling was that there's a lot of health tech startups at the moment, so I kind of want to know right away, why is this special? And then possibly just slightly more visuals on the slides. But you know, I thought it was very professional, and content-wise, I thought everything was in there that was needed to be. So yeah,
I agree. That's good feedback. And guys, we Mike and I didn't say this at the beginning, but we know that everybody's not here to bash anybody. It's more of, we know it's probably a decent presentation. Now it's just kind of giving them, like you said, visuals, less numbers, more energy, but whatever it is. But that was great feedback, John. Thank you. Dan, over to you.
I think I'd probably echo what John said. I was engaged by the way that he was talking to us. Matthew was obviously very confident when he's talking to people about the opportunity. I thought it was a bit text heavy. That's just my preference. I struggle with lots of copy. The team came across strong. It was obvious that it wasn't just health or tech. They had the whole package there. And I think I understand what the offer is as well. I think I understand what he does. So I think that came across well as well. So and then he got cut off. So
yeah, it's good. Mike, over to you, and I'll finish off.
Okay, Dan, I think you summed it up quite nicely there with your problem. You think you understood what it was. I don't get it. And I'm sitting here at nearly the end of 5 minutes, and I should have absolute crystal clarity as to what it was, what the offer is, why is it different, as you were saying, John, and why does it stand out? And for me, it was we can get into the detail of with the slides. There were lots and lots of words, so we need to change. I would be putting visuals in there, make it more exciting, make it more energetic. But this is where a story speaks 1,000 words, and the language that you used, Matthew, at one point was take back control. Okay, so take back control of what, and how does that work? And that can potentially lead you into a story of people taking back control, whether it be the NHS setup in London that you've started working with, or with businesses and them taking back control of their healthcare and getting access to the relevant support that they need. So if that's what the organization is doing, then that really, let's hone in on that story. We don't need to talk through everything about the guys involved, but then the clarity of the numbers. And I know Bart will get into that in a few moments, because there were some very, very big numbers in a very short amount of time, and the EBITDA was the same level as sales and so on. And I'm sitting again, okay, there's going to be a lot of questions that we asked around that as to what does that mean and where's that come from and how's it come together. So it's just getting the headline numbers in there. 150K for 15%. All right, so that actually puts the valuation at 1 million, not 1.4, which is what you say just above it. So there's just a little bits where one thing doesn't quite fit with the other bit. There's strength, there's loads of strength in there. We just need to make sure that this is going to be, when somebody's watching, they don't want to be looking for reasons to say, nah, don't get it, and then they swipe left. The focus needs to be on, okay, that's interesting, tell me more. That's interesting, I know somebody you should be talking to. That's interesting, let's have a conversation. And at the moment, there were lots and lots of questions still sitting there for me. We'll get there.
Cool. Mine Too many numbers, too many words. Is it an app? Is it a web app? Is it an online? I don't know what it is. I know Health Place is Health Place, but what the hell is Health Place? I don't know. And when I looked up Health Place on LinkedIn, there were 4 different health places run by 4 different things. So I had to track it down, and it doesn't match up with the LinkedIn profile. So if people start to do research, it doesn't. I know there's probably a reason for that. It's probably a limited company or a name or whatever it is, but I don't know what Health Place does. And I like that there's traction. I like that there's numbers. Don't confuse us with numbers. That was what Mike talked about as an IM deck, which is that investment, kind of memorandum deck. That wasn't a pitch deck. I don't know. There needs to be Health Place. There needs to be pictures of your team. There needs to be a picture of the app or the web interaction. Then how that partner or that revenue is coming through, what the 8P does, who pays the 8P, where does the 8P come from, the NHS, for who, how do the clients interact, how do I find that back specialist? Do I just type in back problems into Google, and would that be easier? I don't. So what's the differentiator, like John said? So I thought that it was, your stuff, but you're reading from you know how to pitch this, but you read from your right. So if you read on the day, that means you don't know your stuff, or there's too much information. So if you are reading from notes on the day of the BullRing, people know you don't know your stuff. So get the pitch deck right, get more visuals, and make it so that we can feel the energy and not just you're reading from your right hand side.
I mean, the foundations are all there. Yeah, it's
a great. It seems great.
Yeah, this is a safe and honest environment where you're getting true and blunt but real feedback. Because going back to that thing I said right at the beginning, we're after £1 million, £1 million. I mean, you're trying to create a multi-million-pound business here in a very short amount of time. So that means if you want the right partners, we've got to prepare and practice and seduce them correctly, because we've got the right information there. And this is a seduction. It is. That's what we're trying to do. So yeah, you'll get there, Matthew. It'll happen. And if you need other help and stuff like that, then talk to Bart, talk to Lauren. Other things can be done to help, but it's getting that absolutely nailed and excited for everybody.
Don't read during a pitch.
Great
That's
feedback.
number one thing. Cool. Okay, so there was Matthew. And get your tech right. Get your tech right before the day. Please don't disappear in the middle of a pitch on the BullRing day. Get it right. Okay. Now we'll move over to Dan. Dan,
Do you want to stop the recording and then start it again?
Just keep it going, because we can everybody can have everything, and we'll just keep it just as one video. We put it on the unlisted site so that each person could download the link and look at it themselves and review what they did. So Dan, Sir Gordon Bennett, Dan.
Hello.
Okay,
Let's see if
so
we can do this. Can you see that?
and then Lauren's gonna make you spotlighted.
Sir Gordon Bennett. Oh, blimey, where are we going now?
See you
They did it.
Dan.
Sorry?
Wait until you see Dan and Neil. They're like twinsies. It's amazing. One has to wear glasses just to make sure that.
Excellent.
It was good.
I'll say
okay,
the anvil and the beard aren't quite the same.
Yeah, you've shaved a little bit.
I have,
So,
yeah, I have. I've lost my hair since then.
So
Stressful.
So up next we have Dan from SirGordonBennett.com. Dan, now that we can see you and spotlight you, your 5 minutes starts now.
Thank you. Thanks, Pat. Good afternoon, ladies and gents. My name's Dan. I'm a co-founder of Sir Gordon Bennett. I'm sure you've noticed that there's a rapid change happening in people's buying habits right now. The great British public are becoming more particular when it comes to what they buy. Brexit has caused both political and economic uncertainty in the UK. International supply chains have failed and let consumers down, and as a result, people are looking closer to home. There's also a movement to a more sustainable lifestyle, fueled by a backlash against fast fashion and plastic waste. People are making a more considered purchase, choosing goods they trust, goods with a story, goods with provenance. And that's where we come in. Sir Gordon Bennett guarantees British provenance. It's the only store of its kind. We provide a valuable service to our customers, curating goods with traditional values. Every product is handmade by skilled craftsmen and women in the United Kingdom, and every product is inherently green due to the quality of the production. Indeed, many of our products have a lifetime guarantee. we've curated a collection of classic, timeless pieces from brands across the sector aisle. Since our first commercial sale in December 2018, we've generated £350,000 of revenue and gained a total of 6,000 customers. 30% of our total revenue has come from repeat customers or friends.
Dan, 1 second. I know you're pitching. Has the slide changed?
Oh, does it not? Oh, is it not changed?
Yeah, I was like, okay, so yeah, it just did. So go. I've stopped you at 124. So click to the next slide, and so because it didn't change on my screen. So I thought you had moved on, but go to the.
Shall I come out and start again? Because I'm not. I don't know why it wouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't know. So let's.
Because yes, you would. There's like 4 slides.
Yeah, I figured as much. It didn't change for me. Did it change for anybody else?
No.
Okay. This is why we do this. This is.
I just written a note saying I'm not sure there's enough slides.
Yeah, I was just like, just one slide. Okay, well then don't do slides. Yes.
Can you see it changing now?
No.
No.
Why is it in the browser?
Yeah, it's in a browser.
Now it has.
Okay, it is
It did
changing
change.
there.
There.
Yeah.
Changed.
That changed.
Okay. So do you what would you like me to do? Do you want me to go back and start again?
No, do 2 slides forward. Let's get to the slide where you were just talking about the. Okay, there's sirgordonbennett.com for purveyors. That's the last one thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's where I said we've curated a collection of classic timeless pieces from brands across this sector.
Okay, I won't bash you around on the timings just because of that, but I just want to make sure that I wasn't wrong. So you've gotten to this. We knew about the numbers, so you'd said the numbers, right? Okay, so we'll start on the numbers. So customer traction, I'll start you now. Go.
Okay. So since our first commercial sale in December 2018, we've generated £350,000 of revenue and gained a total of 6,000 customers. 30% of our total revenue has come from repeat customers, or friends, as we like to refer to them at Sir Gordon Bennett. We judge the performance of our brand by our community of friends and customers. After nearly 1,000 reviews, we're rated excellent, 4.8 out of 5. And Sir Gordon Bennett has a review rate in the top 3% of all companies in the United Kingdom. That's something we're very proud of. The average order value in craftsmanship gifting is £70. The Craft Council estimates the consumer market at 37 million, and that makes the total market size in the region of £2.6 billion. And we're aiming to achieve a 15% share of that market. That's in the region of £400 million per annum. There are several players in the craftsmanship field, each with a slightly different niche. We're separated from our competition by our content and curation. Every product we sell must pass 4 tests. It must be beautiful, otherwise why would you want it in your life? It must be made well and do the job intended. It must last longer, thus take up less of the Earth's resources. And finally, it must be made in Britain. There are 2 co-founders, myself and Neil. Our skills are complementary. Neil is brand, I am operations. His background is as a creative director at some of the biggest above-the-line advertising companies in the world, and my background is as a senior manager in the arts sector. I'm a trained accountant and have hands-on experience managing large operations and workforces. Neil's a thinker. He communicates the vision for Sir Gordon Bennett in a way that captivates our audience. I'm a doer. I ensure that we make the right strategic decisions operationally to deliver what our marketing promises. Over time, we've identified and filled key seats in order to bring in the skills that we need to grow. Dan Sané is our logistics director. He's managed purchasing and warehousing in large companies such as Tesco and for fast scaling startups such as Pollen and Grace. We've brought together a team of non-execs to bring in valuable skills and experience. David Gascoigne is advising us on our digital marketing strategy. He's an entrepreneur and digital marketer. His speciality is growing businesses from 500,000 to 10 million per annum. Charlie Curzon is advising us on our growth strategy. He's ex-Anderson and Deloitte. He now runs his own consulting company, Mandarin Associates. And Finlay Kerr is advising us on our fundraising strategy, helping us widen our network and bring in growth capital. He has 20 years of experience of sourcing funds for growing businesses. As well as the co-founders and non-execs, there's one additional major shareholder, Stuart Spence. Stuart's a CFO by trade and runs his family office from Texas. To date, we've raised £135,000. Those funds have been used to accelerate growth helping us to treble sales in 2 months after the initial round closed. Now it's time to do the same, but bigger. Today, we're asking for £500,000. The funds you invested today will allow us to build our team, expand our lines, and invest in marketing, ultimately to acquire more customers and friends to spread the word about Sir Gordon Bennett and to promote and showcase British craftsmanship. Strictly speaking, we're not looking to exit the company anytime soon. We're in this for the foreseeable future. We're having fun building something with a lasting impact on British craftsmanship and retail in general. We do, however, understand that investors like to have a return on their investment, and therefore we'll work towards an equity buyback in the region of 5 times revenue in 3 to 5 years. Otherwise, once on board the good ship, Sir Gordon, we'd love for you to stay and help us build something special together. Like what you see, I'd love to speak to you more about this opportunity. Get in touch and we can arrange a more in-depth conversation. Thank you for your time. I look forward to your questions.
Cool. All right. We'll start off with John.
Yeah, really good. To be honest, I'm struggling to think of things that I think it's lacking. I thought it was really confidently delivered. I thought content was all there. Team, obviously, great team. Good track record so far. I mean, the only thing that I can, off the top of my head, that I can kind of think of was the exit strategy might be a little problematic, but I don't know. You navigated it, and you explained where you're at, and I suppose that's fine. But no, all very good, I thought.
Perfect.
Thanks, John.
Cool.
That's good.
Dan,
Mike?
I've got a whole load of different headings down here. I know you'll take notes of some, and some you won't enjoy. Okay. First off, Sir Gordon Bennett. It's clearly a British terminology. So absolutely loud and proud. That's what we're doing. We're not this. I'm assuming that there are no aspirations to take this globally. We want to do this UK, which means it makes sense in the UK. And so I really want you to sort of be bold about this is okay. British. Because it's a British quirky language. I know that this isn't name dropping. I wrote a book several years ago called Faff, which is all about faffing about and the way we mess up. Now, faff, if I go to America, they haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. If I use the word faff in Europe, the Germans spell it with a PH, not an F. So it's things that don't translate elsewhere. So Gordon Bennett would need explaining elsewhere. So take control of the fact that it's quintessentially British and be really bold on that and enjoy it. So this whole bit of British provenance, your 4 tests of all products that get on your site and how you work. Okay, that's a USP that takes you into the expensive, into the British, that sets you apart as per that table that was there. So I think that's something that needs to be more made stronger, because again, it takes you into that provenance of Britishness and how it works. I didn't see any point there was a range of what you cover. So whilst we've got a Chesterfield over your left shoulder, but are you making random toys? Are you making where's it going, and where's that range? Because clearly there's niches within niches to be aware of. Did feel I wrote down reading. It felt like you were reading a little bit to start off with, which is fine because you're practicing the patter. This is the environment to do that. But that I did notice that. The team. I didn't time it, but I'd have said you spent 1.5 minutes at least of your 5 minutes talking about the team. So I would say the second slide is not relevant necessarily of the team bit. You could even just put them as little spots on the bottom of the first slide, so they're all mentioned and nobody feels left out. But if people want more information, they can ask. And then your cap table, again, that's just asking for people to find reasons to not love and whatever else and how that works. And obviously you've got the accountancy badge behind you, so hence you're thinking that's relevant, but it's just a balance. Your exit process you were describing, John wasn't sure about it, but I actually thought it was quite good because it came across nicely. So it's a balance of how you maximize that. And the final one for me is you've got a mobile phone number on the end.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's what small micro businesses do that haven't got staff and are very, very small in their focus.
Okay.
I would never have a mobile number as my business contact number. It looks amateur and small.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Good point.
It's like having an email address saying dan@gmail.com. I haven't bothered to buy the email URL, so I'm just going with what I've been using elsewhere. Humble opinion.
Okay.
It doesn't always fit though.
Thanks, mate. No, that's great. I've scribbled it all down, and I'll get the video as well. But yours, so if we go back to the cap table, would you say just lose that? Is that too much?
Lose it. Get rid of it.
Okay.
It adds questions and queries rather which you can get to when you're in those grown-up discussions, but in the pitch environment, what we're trying to do is seduce.
Okay.
So that's sort of can be a blocker rather than a seduction bit.
Okay. Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Anything else? Over to you, BD.
So slides that need to be included. One is, the first thing is, and you guys are very passionate about this. What made you create this thing? You know, what is it? It's like you were sitting around and you couldn't figure out where to buy a Chesterfield chair, except for this one was imported from India. That's not a Chesterfield. That's just an imported bit of wood from India. So it's like, why did you come up with this thing? Then each of those other things need to have a slide in your story, even if it's quick, British, sustainable, kind of circular economy. Those things are big. Then we created our website. So it's a website. Once again, we go back to this thing. It's a thing. It's a website. It's a place to go. It's a curated Amazon of amazing British goods. Do that. It's nice that there's competition, but everybody that goes through the BullRing is on the upper right-hand quadrant of the axes that you put on there. Every single person is so far out on the right-hand side that they're so amazing between whatever. It's like, you already believe in it. We don't need to see it. It's nice to say there's some competitors in the space so that I can assimilate between the two, but every single person that comes through here puts that axis on there, and they're every time in that spot of best price, best goods, or cheapest whatever and fastest whatever. It's like you wouldn't be in it if you didn't believe that. So I'm not trying to, it's almost wasted because you're here, you believe in it, you already think you're that thing. You could say there's some competitors in the space, but none as good as we are because of this, and this, because of the things I talked about previously. And then Mike's point was, it's nice that you've got those guys, but we're only worried about Dan and Neil. I mean, we're worried about the other advisors. So put the advisors and the investor that you guys talked about, put them all on the same slide, and you could actually just finish off with, we've got these guys, all these guys have been everywhere from KPMG raising money, doing this stuff, and we've already had an investor from the States that is this guy, Clay. So you don't have to give them, just
Okay.
like Steven Spielberg is only that big on the end of at the end of a movie, right?
Yeah.
He's only that big. You don't have to give him, and Steven Spielberg, blah blah blah, and he gets 7 pages of the Star Wars script. It's really get back to what you guys are delivering, and then back to Mike in that product range. Here's 3 product ranges that we've nailed down. We've got these amazing Chesterfield chairs. We've got this. We've got that, and that's what we're selling, because they'll get it.
Right.
So
Okay.
so you have all the good information. Too many numbers. Too many people. Get back to those 3 your 4 mantras, and have a slide for each of those mantras. It has to be British. It has to be sustainable. It has to be this. It has to be that. And that's where you need to be. So it's all there. Less slides, more passion, less reading, or less, more passion. Just has to be there. You're passionate
Okay,
people.
okay.
So, but the story at the beginning needs to be there. It needs to be, Neil and I were looking at this. We couldn't figure out where to get this thing. And you know what? Then we looked at this thing. And when we looked at this thing, we couldn't find anywhere, but we wanted to make it British. and we wanted to bring it to the table, and we'll bring it here. So come along
Okay.
with us if you believe in, Brexit. You throw that nasty word in there, but hey,
Look, I've got a challenge for you here, Dan, and John. This may resonate for you as well, but I haven't heard you pitch yet. I want you to do the rant version of your pitch. So that means I want you to swear as much as you want. I want you to be utterly offensive. I want you to say what's so wrong in the society and all that lot, and just do the extreme dark side version.
if
of what
Donald Trump presented your presentation.
Absolutely. Just go to the dark and just have fun with it for 5-6 minutes. And of course you want to do this because it's, and everything else. But really blast it away with as much energy and as much offensive, rude, crude, whatever it is on it. And then watch that back in comparison to how you delivered this one, and work out which of the dark matter you can actually use to just turn up the energy, build that passion and show it. Because when you go to that rant side of things, we unlock more energy, more passion, more excitement. And when you're talking about Gordon Bennett, bloody hell, yeah, there's so much more energy you can put into that. And so if you've tasted the dark side, then you'll find elements that will actually help you be far more potent in the way it comes across. And you'll be laughing and smiling the whole way through it. It's good. We're allowed to smile. It's good.
But it was good. It was a good presentation. It's just that those refining points: cut, refine, expand.
What about at the presentation on browser? Do you guys have a? I was just thinking
If you can get it to PDF, that would be better, or some sort of PowerPoint. Just transport it to that, because what happens if you leave your eBay tab open? And everybody's like, "Well, I thought you were Gordon Bennett. Why are you on eBay?" That's where we buy all of our stuff, is off eBay. But people are nosy, and they want to see what's behind you. They want to see what you've been looking at. They want to see. So the more you can just make it the presentation easier, and it also flows better off of either PowerPoint or presentation of PDF, not on browser.
Yeah.
From your desktop.
I did a pitch on Zoom before, and it worked okay, because I was using the presentation view on Google Slides.
Yeah.
That's why you thought I was reading, because I was reading my notes. But it worked fine. I don't know why it's not worked. So yeah, you're right. I'll change it over to PDF and figure out a way of having less visual prompts.
You're good.
Thank you for your advice. Thank you.
No, it's good. And the best thing about this is hopefully then you'll be able to use this for your next, when you're pitching to a boardroom. It's just easier, that they get it. And it's a 5-minute pitch you can get almost out of any investment house.
Yeah.
If you go for 15-30 minutes, then they don't have as much time. But if you have 5 minutes for a great idea. So here it is. Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
I appreciate it.
Okay, John, over to you. If Lauren could make you
your co-host
spotlighted.
Let me just spotlight you.
Okay, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Again on browser, but it can be otherwise in the real thing.
Oh, look at all those websites you go to.
Yeah. And,
what's to do? To do. Okay.
It's like a planning app.
I figured it was. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And ignore the phone number at the end as well, Mike.
Okay, just leave your email on there when we get to it, just because it's just better. Even though we all use, and we want to be personal with our phone number and being contactable, it does look more professional to have a landline that goes to something, because they know you've actually got a land place to be. It's just easier that way. Okay. And are we pronouncing it Cosimo? Is that how
Cosimo,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And next up is John from Cosimo. John, your 5 minutes starts now.
Let me just check and get my timer going as well. Okay, right, brilliant. Thanks very much for that. So yeah, my name's John, and I am the founder of Cosimo. an online platform making it easier for people to connect with artists, buy their work and support them for the artwork that they create and that people love to see and enjoy. Ultimately, we're trying to bring around a modern day Renaissance, and this is where our name comes from. Cosimo de' Medici was, many would say, the founding father of the Renaissance, and he said this about how, you know, supporting artists was one of the best things he did in his life, and he did a lot of pretty amazing things. He was a businessman, a political leader, and ultimately shaped what we now know as one of the most beautiful cities in the world, in Florence. And we want to empower more people to feel like they are their own kind of Cosimo, and to help them support artists in their own way. Now, this is important because in the UK, the average artist earns less than the national living wage. And of the thousands of art students that graduate every year, only 1 in 5 of them are able to establish themselves as a full-time artist within a couple of years of leaving art school. And this means that not only are, you know, a lot of people wasting a lot of money, going to university to do a degree that isn't then actually providing any value, but that means that as a society, we're missing out on the creativity of a huge number of really talented people, and I think that that's something that we should try to bring an end to, and to make it easier for people to become artists. Now, the reason that so many artists struggle, there's a variety of reasons, but the primary ones are that if they are able to be represented by galleries, which is not necessarily an easy thing, they often lose half of what they potentially make in commission fees. And also a lot of artists will then try and self-represent, but that's very difficult because they've got to do all the promoting, and they don't want to spend their time selling their work, they want to make it. So that's where we come in. We provide an online platform that enables them to list their work, create an online shop, and then sell their work directly without commission fees to the people that love what they do. We also enable them to accept tips, and we offer a broader community aspect as well, helping to connect artists with each other, and also to connect people that might not necessarily want to buy their work, but are interested to follow their stories and be part of their journey as well. Now, we do this in a kind of a SaaS model. It's free to list initially, and you can stay as a free member if you wish, but you will not be able to necessarily sell your work. But if you want to sell directly without commission fees, it's just £7.99 a month. And this gives the artists a full range of tools to manage their online selling platform, and to engage most kind of directly with their audience. So far, we've had more than 1,000 artworks listed on the platform from more than 100 artists. We've been able to facilitate £8,000 worth of sales. And in the last year, we had about 7,500 visitors to the site as well. The average artwork sale price is around about £60, but we have had artwork sell for as much as 500. So we're really in that, we're tailored to emerging artists and affordable art, so that we're really kind of hitting the emerging kind of audiences on both the buying and selling side. In terms of the broader online art marketplace and art market platform, art landscape, we estimate around about 500,000 artists in Europe, and a lot of these are not necessarily serviced at the moment. The most popular platforms, Saatchi and Etsy, despite having being kind of the go-to places, I think the disparity between how many people they have and how many there are more broadly shows that there's a huge opportunity to engage with a much broader number of artists going forward as we move into the digital era. The team who are helping get this off the ground are primarily myself. I've also got a number of advisors, and we've got some technical partners in India through Deepak Tilu, who is the CEO of Invitri Tech. We've had plenty of awards and recognition so far. Most importantly, over the last couple of months, I received a scholarship of £15,000 from the University of Birmingham, and we are now have to be housed in the university's city centre building at the Exchange. So if you would like to hear more about what we're up to or ask any more questions, please feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to take any questions. Thank you very much for your time.
Dan, feedback from you first.
That was great. Visually really strong. I think having that opening slide create 100% clarity about what it is that you do, and then how you describe the problem was really good. Yeah, I'm struggling to find something that would be constructive. No, all I wrote down were positive things. So, well done.
Appreciate it.
You're a nice guy, Dan. You're a very nice guy. Now you come to Waldorf and Statler from the Muppets. Mike's Waldorf on Statler. Get him off the stage. No, it's okay.
Dan, feel free to throw in extras as we trigger thought works and whatever else. Okay, so John, yeah, comes across nicely. And I did feel you spent a lot of time on the reality of the art world and educating, which suddenly used up probably, I don't know, almost up to 30 or 40% of your time was talking about the problem and the struggle and everything else on that, rather than this is what I do and this is how we fix it.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah, as a result of us, we are the solution. We're the magic pill. We're the Viagra of the art world, whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
It's you are the solution, and it's demonstrating how that's going to work. One question: are you selling originals or are we selling prints? Is it just art, as in pictures, or is it now actually going to be available for Lauren wants a collection of mugs that have got that wonderful picture on them? What is it that people are buying through you?
Yeah, so it's just the original artworks, but yeah.
Okay, so it's pure and simple. It's the one-off. It's originals. So because that's a big word in there. So it's sort of it's singular. It's unique. It's whatever else. So that comes across. SEO is the question. Pure and simply, whatever money you raise or whatever you're developing is going in marketing, fundamentally. Because you've got to get out there and get more people finding. So your marketing is the key part, because it's a website play. You never physically have ownership of these pieces of art. You're just the conduit. So they've got to find you. So a demonstration of how the hell am I going to find you, and why is that going to stick out when there are plenty of other websites out there that's in theory specialize in the art world. So we need a bit of a journey there for you. What was the ask?
To be honest, I haven't done a huge amount of prep for this one, so yeah.
No, don't worry. So the ask is, okay, I'm after smart money, I'm after cash, I'm after non-execs, I'm after employees. What is it? And it can be all of the above, it can be only one of the above. You choose. But the real clarity is we need to know, because then obviously things like return on investment, evidence of what's going on, it suddenly rings true. And how you're actually going to build that and how that's going to come together. Because it's interesting, it's exciting. You obviously love and are passionate about what's going on there, but we need it to really stand out, because it's a website. There are a gazillion websites out there. So why is you're going to be found? By whom? Are we specializing? Are we attaching to? How does that come together? Because one of the statements I put there is the e-commerce is now outstripping physical art galleries. So that means there's a huge opportunity, but we're also playing catch up on people that are already established in there. So you've got to demonstrate how that is going to be a successful journey.
Yeah.
Biddy.
Okay, so first minute and a half was your history lesson on Cosmeo and Florence. Just it's nice to know why it's called Cosmeo based on this and what he believed in. But quickly, just really quick, get through. It was a minute 34 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's called Cosmeo because of this dude in Florence that believed in artists and connecting everything.
Yeah.
Then that slide that you had that had the whole ecosystem of this, this, and this, show me in a picture form. Dan creates this piece of art, it goes to gallery, does this, gets paid, gets this money taken off of him. Show me the quick life cycle of in pictures. It can be a picture of a person painting. So use clip art, whatever you want to do. I mean, you'll be better than that, but just show me what this is. And then you say, replace this bit with Cosmeo. Or Cosmo, sorry, Cosmo. We sit in the middle of it. We are an app. We are an app that is for artists. That is so that people can find original pieces of artwork. We're curating. We're taking it forward. We're blah blah blah. We're pushing it. So that bit's on there. That really will get through a lot of the stuff that happened. So you did really well, but because you were, like you said, you hadn't prepared, is really, you had an extra minute and a half that you didn't need to spend on different various things, because we're not artists. We don't understand the problem. We don't understand the solution. But if you can help people, and then my two questions to you, one of them was AR, so augmented reality. Are you guys moving towards that where you can actually put the picture up on the wall? So I would talk about version 2 or version 3 or version 4, moving towards where an artist, we can raise the rate because that person can actually use augmented reality to show the picture of that painting on the wall and you could see it in your room. That's awesome. And then the other one was NFTs, so non-fungible tokens. Both of those two things are huge in this space now. It could be very, very interesting. I don't want to confuse or put that, but here's some versions that we're working towards in the future. But first, we've got to get this nailed down. So
I've got a bit of on another on the longer form deck. I've got a kind of roadmap sort of slide. Is it worth maybe putting?
I would put that roadmap slide in there. If you put the roadmap slide in there and get rid of the Cosimo discussion, then you would. Besides, his name is this. He believed in artists. Then you go, hey, come on this journey with us. I'm looking for people that want to come on this journey with us, money-wise, engagement-wise, because one of the people that is the bull is Michael Quintana, who's huge in NFTs right now and taking stuff forward for Sony. So he hears you say NFT, ears are gonna perk up. He's gonna say, here's 3 people you should talk to, and here's this. So it's play to your audience. I really think we're there. We saw that. It's okay, Matthew. We figured when you disappeared that your stuff crashed. But we did.
The worst
we
thing is
did
I
give you
carried
all
on.
the feedback.
I carried on talking. Unfortunately, tonight I didn't realise.
Well,
You were great.
At
I was
3 minutes
into
and
my
20
stride.
seconds, your last minute and 40 seconds was amazing. It was better than your first 3 minutes 20. Not just joking. But no, you have all of our feedback pre-thing that Lauren will be able to give to you after this. But John, that's it. So really, it's getting back to that, nailing that 5 minutes, less slides, less words, less numbers, more pictures, more engagements, more things. Make us understand the journey of an artist. Make us understand where Cosimo is going to fit in the middle of that. And then that roadmap could be actually really cool. Is we're looking for money, engagement, non-exec directors, connections to help us go from the 8,000 pounds to this year 100,000 pounds in sales, and also getting to this, because the augmented reality thing could be fairly lucrative and take you global, and you can charge a heck of a lot more if somebody can AR their artwork through the system. So cool. Okay, Mike, back over to you for the game plan. What's happening?
Just a little bit of generic for you. One of the hardest things about these pitches is you are presenting to a lens the size of your small fingernail, and there's no interaction, there's no feedback, there's nothing. which is the same issue you get when you're presenting to an audience of 1,000 people. You can only see the front row because the spotlights block everything else out. So that means you've got to be so confident and comfortable with what you're delivering. So if you're sitting, make sure it's at eye level. If you're standing, it doesn't matter what you have got your cameras on. It's just whether you, quite often with Bart, he'll actually be demonstrating. I don't know whether you're juggling it all at the moment, but there's a stool plus a box file plus a cuddly toy, whatever it is, and the computer is put on top of that. Nobody can see what's underneath or behind your camera. So that for you is the way we need to just, so you're at eye level, because there's a couple of you that are presenting down at the moment. And there's it's getting that environment. See, Bart is now standing, and it's sort of, I'm not going to be rude because that would not be necessary at this time of year.
That's not
but
nice.
it's well, hey, you're the one who sent me dwarf jokes over the weekend, you rude man. So there you go.
That's all it is.
Nobody knows that. And with the background, then suddenly it's a complete change of the way it works. So again, it's a professional setup, even if it's in a back room corner or whatever it is. If you've got any Wi-Fi issues, like you had today, Matthew, right? Let's make sure. I did a very big presentation before Christmas, and I was getting the bars started going from white to yellow to red. And my family, it was at 7 o'clock in the evening. I was presenting in the States, and I just had to get on my phone subtly, say, everybody off broadband now, because I was at home doing the presentation. And basically there were 3 people in the family were streaming stuff, or whatever else. It was that crash time of day. If you've got that problem, your Wi-Fi buffers or drops in and out, you're in an office environment where it's shared and you've got background noise, you've got 5 minutes. This will be videoed, so you will have chance to use this and take sound bites out of it and use it elsewhere again. So this is giving you marketing spiel where you're demonstrating really short, snappy sound bites that can be used. So make sure it's set up, set the environment, set the sound. I always, when it comes to presenting, I don't want headphones on or anything like that, just because I feel like an air traffic controller. But it's that balance between, well, if that's what has to happen, then you go with it. But it's just that professional environment. Is this pitch going to be worth $1 million? What do I need to do that's going to make it the environment right so that I'm there? Am I dressed appropriately? I'm not saying people need suits and whatever else nowadays. Appropriately for what you're doing. Then, and if you're not, or you're not comfortable, then don't try something different that's going to make you feel less comfortable because it's not you. But the other side of it, if you're after a certain environment and you're after professional investors, etc., then maybe the jacket is necessary, but the polo shirt may be too casual. That's the reality of how it works. And then as far as the actual pitch and performance and everything else, getting your head in state, these things, the bloody phones. Okay, rule of engagement. Phone is always put to one side. Your email is off for at least 20 minutes to half an hour beforehand. Okay, because that will sabotage your performance if you get a shitty email or message that comes in and suddenly your mind, your subconscious, a percentage goes elsewhere. Get yourself into that bubble where you know what it is, and it's all part of the psych up. If you played sport before, that's what we're talking about. Get yourself into a singular bubble, avoid all distractions, so you are then able to just step up. You'll be asked to turn up at 2:30 on the day so that you can do the practice to make sure everything is working. Make sure your sound is clear and whatever. Then you can just, once you've done that, you're set up, then you can go away, have a smoke, cup of tea, whatever it is you need to do. Then you come back at 5:02. But it's just, in that time when you disappear off, just go. Hey, if you meditate. If you do press ups, whatever it happens to be. But just to get yourself in a clear space so that you can nail it on the day and have fun doing it. Because that's if you're having fun, then the audience will be having fun as well, because they're enjoying your energy and your excitement as it comes across. Biddy.
Cool. And so we need, Lauren, what's the time frames that we've set out?
Yeah, like you said, next Tuesday. you know, the presentations to me. I'll email you all the deets, but and then obviously D-Day next week as well. So
So
One other one then,
thank
just
you,
to throw
guys.
in, stalking.
Who?
You
Stalking.
will receive details of all the bulls that will be there. So online stalking, make sure you know who's there, because if they've got nuances and quirks that are actually right up your street, then you make sure your language is appropriate. That's going to make him or her think, I need to have that conversation with you. So yeah, online stalking, when that details come through, get on it.
Amazing.
On the day, there's
Non-creepy
no-
way.
on the day, I will ask for feedback from the bulls and and in the audience, but you do not get to respond to that feedback. You get to carry that with them later on. So if they say, Dan, I don't believe your turnover numbers, you didn't prove it right. It's not a rebuttal. It's a perfect. I'll take that on board. And I've written the note down. So you don't even respond. It's not the way, because if Matthew has lots of response and that then takes away from John's time, it's not fair. So I just make it so that there's feedback from the bulls for 2 to 3 minutes each. And then you'll get feedback later, because afterwards we get together, we go into breakout rooms afterwards, and you can ask and respond to the bulls appropriately. But the bulls aren't there to attack. The bulls are there to showcase your business and your pitch. They're not there to make you look stupid. That's their job. But pitch deck back by next Tuesday, has to be in by next Tuesday at noon. You guys, there's some chopping and changing and new pictures that need to go and new things that need to happen in all your slide decks. The sooner you can get them to Lauren, the better, because that means you'll stop pissing about with them. You'll just practice them, and practice them once a day at least. Just practice, sit there for 5 minutes, get excited, because this will be, you'll be able to chop this out and use this as a pitch to send to people. Here's one I made earlier. Do that. Make sure you're celebrating our promotion of you guys, each of you guys, whenever there's one. So John just had his out last week that we put on there. Matthew, make sure you're liking John's his picture that's on there. Same thing with Dan. If you're not already following the BullRing, follow the BullRing on LinkedIn. It's your chance to promote your business. Go, Lauren. You want to say something?
No, it's great. It's
Okay.
great.
Oh, you just did the microphone off, so I was just checking.
I did.
But this is your chance. Our job is to promote more of you guys, to make it so that more bulls come in, more other pitchers, and more audience members. So make sure you're telling your fan base to come watch. We want more eyeballs on it, because then when that one investor that might be the ideal investor sees that there's 60 people looking at this and they've all voted and said you're investable, and they understand your pitch, that might be the thing that says, actually, if 30 people say it's investable, it must be investable, so I'm going to at least talk to Matthew. So it's the more eyeballs, the more proof points there are. So just make sure you got that. So questions from you guys before we let you go?
Can I just, I missed how many bulls they're going to be.
3.
Okay, 3.
3 bulls. Michael Quintana, Gaynor Matthews, who you'll get, all these people will come out on Lauren's email. And then our third is Spencer Crosley. So we've got ex-head of Warner Brothers, current head of innovation for Sony Hawkeye, and Gaynor, who's got 3 companies herself and has invested in multiple companies. So they're all good. Perfect.
Great.
Okay.
Gentlemen,
So
my apologies. I will not be there on the Thursday because I'm decided to have some holiday. So I'm actually out of the country. So I will not be there, but I will be there in mind, and Bart will be feeding back to me afterwards. So please, if you need any help beforehand, you need more help than just a quick word, then we can engineer something separately if you want that. Otherwise, it's just be brilliant. Your businesses, your passion, get it all out there, make it work, and have fun.
Just invite people to come and watch. Invite people to come and watch. It always helps. Invite your team, invite you, because those people are actually everybody thinks, you think everybody knows what you do, and most of them couldn't explain what you do. I'm a wealth manager, and I have multiple clients or friends that couldn't actually explain. You're the money guy, or I don't even know what you do. You know, it's like, well, So when they see this, it will ingrain it in their brain to then trigger what you do. You know, it works. So just invite as many people as possible. It's more fun that way. It's free advertisement for you. Thank you, guys. We'll see you. Make sure you get the stuff back to Lauren. Any other questions, send them through to
Let me know.
Mike or me.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks all.
Good to
Great,
meet you.
Guys, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.